guys. This is LoveNBass live from Chicago. It's around 11:45 in the morning right now. And before I introduce myself, I thought we'd do a couple of breathing exercises. So just close your eyes. We're gonna breathe in through the nose, hold it for a couple seconds, and then exhale out the mouth. So breathe in, hold it, breathe out, breathe in, and out, breathe in, and out. So yeah, as I said before, I live in Chicago. I've pretty much lived here my whole life. I grew up in northern suburbs of Lake Forest, Illinois. It's about a 40-minute drive from Chicago. And I'll just tell you about a couple of my hobbies. I play bass, obviously, and guitar. I love performing live. I love playing in bands. I think music is probably one of the greatest ways to communicate to other people, and the best way to express yourself, besides painting, which is another thing that I also dabble in. I also do freelance illustration and graphic design, which helps me pay the rent and helps me do things that I really like to do. I went to Columbia College here in Chicago and majored in traditional animation. And obviously I don't have a job right now as far as animation goes. I just have a day job that pays the bills, but I won't get into that. So I'm a huge music and film junkie. So I thought I'd just show you guys some of my favorite records. Well, they're always changing, so the current favorite records and some of my favorite movies. So let's get on to it. And of course, gotta start out with the Fab Four. Rubber Soul. This is actually tied between Revolver. I really love Revolver. That's probably my favorite Beatles album, but I don't have it with me right now. So I just have Rubber Soul, but, you know, it's a masterpiece. It's classic. I love it. Fantastic. Great album. Another band with the Fab Four, but not exactly mainstream, but a little more underground. Velvet Underground, self-titled. I don't know if, looks like it's reversed in the camera, but I don't know if you can tell. I really love this album a lot. A lot of people say that the Velvet Underground's Banana album is like their best album, but I really disagree. I think this is like one of their best. This also has my favorite, a couple of my favorite tracks. Pale Blue Eyes, The Murder Mystery. It's probably one of my favorite guitar riffs ever created. It's just a really great album, very, very simple, very cute songs, very dark songs. Anyway, check it out. It's a fantastic piece of art. I think he's just a musical genius, as well as John Cale. I think they're both just great musicians and great songwriters. Another record, of course, what would I be without being a Chicagoan, without mentioning Wilco being there. This is one of those albums that I would listen to when I would wake up first thing in the morning and have that drive to school, and I mean, I don't think there's a single track on this album that I don't like. It just rocks. There's a lot of great rock songs, a lot of great softer folky songs on here. It's just a beautiful album, in all honesty. Not much to really say about it. It really is just great. A lot of people think that Yankee Foxtrot Hotel is like their best, but I really love this one. And I do love Yankee Foxtrot Hotel a lot. So, yeah, we'll go being there. Check it. Another great record that I love, Granddaddy, The Software Slump. These guys did that one weird keyboard song in 28 Days Later. It doesn't have that song on this album, but this whole album is just great. I mean, I think it's a concept album, so like all the songs go together, and there's really just this whole album is just great. I love the Crystal Lake and Hewlett's Daughter. It's very like quirky, kind of like indie rock music. I guess like if I were to relate it to it would kind of be like the Flaming Lips a little bit, but a little like folkier. And Jason Lytle, the singer and main songwriter of the band, they actually just got back together to help support Jason's sister, because I guess she has like a brain tumor and he doesn't have enough money to pay for it. So that's why he's getting back together with Granddaddy so we can pay for her operation. I'll actually put the link of his website, and you can check out his solo stuff too. He's a really great musician. He's got a great voice too. So yeah, Software Slump, Granddaddy. And then getting onto a little bit of a heavier side, a little more angrier side, is Fugazi, Steady Diet of Nothing. I'm a big fan of Fugazi. I think they're musical geniuses. I love Ian MacKaye, and I love the whole Discord label. They have just amazing bands, and Fugazi is just one of them. If you've never listened to Fugazi, I would highly recommend you listen to them, because they're just musical geniuses. Like, simple as that, you know. And Joel Ollie is probably one of my favorite bassists alive. So yeah, check it out. And then another one of my favorites, Pavement, Wowie Zowie. I love Pavement. Everybody in the band is just so talented. I love Stephen Malkmus. This is my favorite just because it's a little more experimental, and it's got a lot more kind of like, it's got some classic rock vibe to it too. There's like a couple of bluesy songs on here. And this is actually the reissue. I'll show you. It comes with like a second disc with like B-sides and like live takes and really cool stuff. And it's got like a little booklet. It's got like puppies on it and weird things and just weird little stories from all the bandmates. It's a really cool idea, especially if you're a Pavement fan like me. So I'll just... So yeah, I saw them actually about a year, maybe 2 or 3 years ago at Pitchfork. And it'll probably be the only time I ever see them again, because it was like a reunion tour, and they were just amazing live. And then I saw them at Millennium Park like a month after that, and they just rocked so much. They're just an amazing band. I think, in all honesty, they were like the last rock and roll band ever alive. So yeah, great album, great band, Wowie Zowie. And as I said before, I am a music junkie, so I do have a couple of vinyl records too that I have that I'd like to show you. big come up. This is actually their first record ever, recorded in the drummer's basement, and I love their new stuff. I think it's really cool, but if I were to like give them some musical advice, I think it would be awesome if they went back to just being a two-piece band, because I think they could like draw so much more now with just the two of them, and I think that would just be amazing. I think it would just rock. I mean, if you love blues music and like dirty, gritty rock and roll, this is probably the best album you could listen to. Great for road trips too. And another album I have is Charles Mingus, The Clown. Great jazz record. One of my favorite jazz bassists ever. Before there was Victor Wooten and Jaco Pastorius, there was Charles Mingus. And he's just a fantastic composer and bass player. The self-titled track, The Clown, actually has the father from The Christmas Story, A Christmas Story, narrating it. And it's a very funny, dark, spoken word jazz piece. But this is just a great album. If you love jazz, you should definitely add this to your collection. Charles Mingus, The Clown. And then I'm going to show you probably one of my favorite bands ever. I highly recommend you check these guys out. Morphine, A Cure for Pain. The singer, Mark Sandman, plays two-string bass. And he uses a slide to make it sound like a guitar, kind of, and it's really dirty. And all it is it's him on a two-string bass, a saxophone player, and a drummer. And it's probably some of like the coolest, darkest jazz rock music you'll ever listen to. I don't think they have a single bad record, in all honesty, but this, to me, is like one of my favorites by them. Unfortunately, Mark Sandman passed away in 2000. He died on stage of a heart attack. I really wish I could have seen these guys live, because I'm sure they were just amazing. I mean, it really doesn't get much better than this band. I'm serious. Like, check these guys out. Great band. Great band. I have a Morphine tattoo on my shoulder as well, so I'm obviously a huge Morphine fan. And then, last but not least, Low. Name of the album is Long Division. Three-piece band from Duluth, Minnesota. Really simple, slow rock music. I mean, they do so much with so little. And Aaron and I always forget the girl's name, or Alan and Mimi. They're both the husband and wife. They probably have like the best voices I've ever heard, and their voices harmonize perfectly, and it's probably some of the most beautiful music ever. This is my favorite album, and it's a great album to fall asleep to as well, and just a great album to just cuddle up with your loved one in a bed and just stay inside all day because it's cold out. Anyway, fantastic album. Low, Long Division. Okay, now I'm gonna show you a couple of movies that I love. I do have a lot more, but they're out in the suburbs right now. So these are the only movies that I have that are my favorite, that are here with me at my apartment. So let's check them out. Young Frankenstein. One of my favorites growing up as a kid too. I love Mel Brooks. He's like one of my biggest heroes. And I love Gene Wilder. And you really can't go wrong with this movie. I mean, it's hilarious. If you've never seen Young Frankenstein, highly recommend it. And it actually won a Guinness World Record for being the shortest movie ever filmed. I think they shot the whole movie in 2 weeks. because it's just a masterpiece as far as comedies go. So, yeah, Young Frankenstein. And then, since we're on the subject of Mel Brooks, another one that I love, To Be or Not to Be. A great story. It takes place in World War II in Poland when the Nazis were invading. And it's kind of like Mel Brooks' little quirky taste on World War II. It's not as over the top and quirky as most of Mel Brooks' stuff, which is kind of why I like it. It's kind of like a normal story, but it's still got the funny little, Mel Brooks jokes. And of course it stars Mel Brooks, so, it doesn't get much better than that. So yeah, my favorite Mel Brooks, To Be or Not to Be. As I said before, I was an animation major, so what would I be without having animated movies? One of my favorites by Wes Anderson, Fantastic Mr. Fox. I love stop motion, and when this came out, I was like a kid in a candy store pretty much, because I read the book when I was a kid. And when I found out that Wes Anderson was doing a stop motion movie, I freaked out basically, and I love this movie. It's super funny. If you have kids, I guarantee you they'll love it. Very quirky, just like Wes Anderson. Great soundtrack too. I love the music on it. So yeah. Another great animated film, Miyazaki's Spirited Away. I love everything that Miyazaki has done pretty much, but this is probably one of my favorites. I could watch this movie forever. Definitely a desert island movie. It's just a beautiful, beautiful film. It's a work of art, and I'm not joking either. It's just about a girl who loses her parents at this bathhouse. I won't tell you what happens exactly, but it's just an amazing, amazing film. Even if you're not a big anime fan, because I'm really not a big anime fan either, you should definitely check this film out. Anything that this man touches is gold. So, this is the Fearless Freaks documentary on the Flaming Lips. I love the Flaming Lips. They're one of my favorite bands. Like I said, I don't have their record with me right now. It's all up in the suburbs, but this documentary is amazing. Their friend, Brad Beasley, was like Wayne Coyne's neighbor, so he's basically been following them around since the beginning. So you've got like footage from the early 80s up to like 2005, just following the Flaming Lips around, getting, learning about their darker secrets and their live shows, and it's just an amazing documentary. And their commentary is actually really funny too, and they're just an amazing band, and it's just an amazing documentary, or rockumentary, I should say. So yeah, Fearless Freaks. Triplets of Belleville. Another work of art. This is by a French-Canadian animator named Sylvain Chomet. And there's no talking in it. There's only like 2 lines in the whole movie. So it's all just based on like pantomime and sound effects, and it's just an amazing movie. Really cool story, really cool artwork, great animation. Everything nowadays is done with digital and computers, but this is actually all hand-drawn. So it's like old school animation, basically. And I think it took them like 5 to 6 years to make this movie. And you can tell that they put their heart and soul, blood, sweat, and tears into making this film. I would absolutely recommend checking out this movie and getting the soundtrack as well, because the music is just unreal. It's a very cool movie. I love it. So, yeah. Trumpets of Belleville. And then another great movie of mine I love. SLC Punk. It stands for Salt Lake City Punk. It's a very funny, dark movie. Great story about Punk living in Salt Lake City with his other punk friends. I won't get into what happens, but it's really a great story. A lot lot of funny parts, a lot of sad parts, but it is a great movie. Kind of like an independent movie that kind of went under the radar. Has a little more of a cult following, but it really is just a great movie. Even if you don't like punk music, it still is a fantastic movie. So, SLC Punk. Check it. And then last but not least, what would I be without talking about animation, without mentioning Disney? This is my favorite Disney movie ever, Jungle Book. I actually have the record somewhere, the soundtrack on vinyl, but I can't find it. But growing up as a kid, this was my favorite. I love jazz, and I love the music to this film. It's just a great animated movie for your kids, and yeah, I could watch this over and over, seriously. It's also got like special features on it, like lost characters and like scenes that weren't going to be shown in the movie. A lot of cool behind the scene features. Fun fact, not a lot of people know this. This was actually Walt Disney's last movie that he ever helped create. And I mean, it's my favorite movie of all time, seriously. I mean, it doesn't get much better than The Jungle Book, so yeah. Alrighty guys, well thank you so much for spending your time with me. I'm going to do one more breathing exercise before we log off, so close your eyes. And we're going to breathe in through the nose. Hold it. And exhale. Out through the mouth. Inhale. And exhale. Alright guys, so my next video should be the food ASMR video, and I had a couple other ideas from using brushes and maybe doing a couple of painting videos and drawing videos. So yeah, if you guys have any comments, concerns, criticisms, or questions or anything, don't hesitate to ask. I always love getting comments, even if it's bad comments. I really don't care. So yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day. If you're in the Midwest, stay warm. Okay, have a wonderful day. Goodbye.